Welcome back to Let's Make a Game. Today we're going to be doing Asteroids, and we're going to be introducing Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop, you can use GIMP, MS Paint, basically anything that can export a PNG file. I'm going to be using Photoshop for this, because we're going to need to create our own elements for this game, instead of using just squares and stuff. So in Construct 2, I'm going to go to New Project. I'm going to create a new empty project, hit OK. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, Save As, save it to the desktop. It's not going to let me. So just hit the Save button up there. Go to the desktop, and we're going to call this Asteroids, which I actually think I already have a folder on here called Asteroids. Yeah, so I'm going to save it somewhere else, because I built this game before in my free time. So I'm just going to go to my Documents, and I'm going to create a new folder called Asteroids and save my project in there. And let's see if I go to, if I go to Documents, should be an Asteroids caps in here somewhere. Right. Oh, there's my Pong one. It's in there somewhere. So we got our new project. We're going to call this Asteroids and save it out again. Alright, so we get our Asteroids game. This is the first version. We got our layout over here for layout 1. We got our event sheet. Everything's good. So before we actually start building the game, let's make some stuff that we're going to need. So we're going to go over into Photoshop or GIMP or whatever you have, and I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to make this pretty small because the artwork is going to be pretty small. So let's see, we got 128. What's half of 128? That's 64. Half of that is 32. We'll do a 32 by 32 pixel thing here. Just something small. We don't really need anything large here. Alright, so for the first one, I'm just going to build a spaceship. And I'm going to go to Layer, New. Layer, New. This is going to create a new layer for us over here in our Layers palette. And with this background layer, you can just delete that. So we'll right click and hit delete. And we just want an empty layer with the transparent background. And actually I think I'm going to bring a new layer in as well. And I'm actually going to fill this background with black, just so I have that black there. So I can see I'm going to make a white ship, and it's just going to be an arrow like they use in the old school ones. So get my marquee selection tool. That seems about right. And we'll fill that with white on my second layer. There we go. And we can spin this. That looks about right. And then we can edit. Let's see here. What do we want to do? Actually, you know what? We'll go to our second layer, right click it, duplicate it. Done. Edit. Transform. Flip horizontally. Use our move tool. Hold shift to constrain. Click and drag. Boom. We have our arrow. And we can merge these layers down together and kind of just center this up a little bit. That looks pretty center. Let's see. Yeah, that's about pretty center. 32, 30, that'd be 16, so this would be the dead center here. That looks pretty good to me. I'm happy with that. So we'll zoom out here. And that's going to be our little arrow that's going to be flying around and shooting stuff. We can delete the black background there. Delete that. And so now we just have this white arrow on a transparent background, which is exactly what we want. We're going to go to File, Save As. We're going to go to Desktop, Libraries, Documents. There should be an Asteroids folder in here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. So, got Construct Backups. Let's create a new folder called Asteroids. New. Actually, let's see if it's under. It might be under New Project. New Unity Project. Naked Bitches. Oh, let's see what's in there. Click me. A little deeper. Next one. Next one. It just goes on and on like that. It's just a joke folder I made. Let's see here. I don't think it made one for us. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to right click, new folder, call this Asteroids. Inside this one, we're gonna create a new folder called Sprites. And we're gonna save this out as a PNG called ship. And then we're also going to want to say we don't want to interlace. We're just going to go new interlace. We're going to go to file, save as. We're also going to save the PSD file just in case we want to come back and change this with that alpha layer intact. We're going to call this ship as well, but we're going to save it as a PSD just so we have the original, just in case. You never know. So we're done with that. We're going to go to file, new, 32 by 32 seems proper, and we're going to zoom in. Now what we want to create is the asteroids. I'm just going to create two different types of asteroids, a small one and a large one. You can create more if you'd like. I'm going to go to new layer, this background layer, right click it, delete it, we don't need it. I'm going to create another new layer, but that it doesn't matter which one's behind. Layer 1 we're going to fill with black just so we can see, and layer 2 we're going to create our asteroids. And to do that we're going to go over to our lasso tool. It's the third one from the top. We're going to right click that and we're going to change it to polygonal, I'm going to call it polygonal lasso tool, and we're going to click and click and click and click and click, click. I don't want more than 8 points if I remember correctly. So let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's perfect, 7's fine. So now we can edit, fill. We're going to fill this with white. Done. And we can select, modify, contract. Let's contract by 3 and delete that center. And if we zoom out, we have a little asteroid. Whee! So this would be our small asteroid. Again, I can just delete this. Actually, before I do that, let's try to center this up just a little bit. So bring this down to here to make sure we're at the right area. This seems to be good. And zoom in here, zoom in here. And we're going to go to 16. This is 15 here, so this is 16 right here. And same with this one. This will be 16 here. And let's just try to put this in the middle here. So it looks about centered to me. That looks pretty good. So we're going to, again, delete the black layer, file, save as. We're in sprite still. Change this to asteroid SM for small. And we're going to file, save as. We're going to do a PNG as well that we're actually going to be using in the game, asteroid SM, PNG. And we're going to go in file, new. We're going to pump this up to 64 by 64 because now we want to make a big asteroid. Again, we'll go to layer, new, layer, OK. Delete the background, right clicking, selecting delete, and hitting OK. And we're going to make another one using the same style, using the polygonal thing. And we're going to go 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4, 5 point, 6 point, 7 point, more. Alright, so we have 8 points there, which is good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7, whatever. And we're going to do the same thing. Edit, fill, and fill it with white. Select, modify, contract, 3 pixels, delete. And if I put it into that black background, then again, layer, new, oops, layer, new, select this layer, drag and hold it down to the bottom. We'll fill it with black. We can see we have a larger asteroid now. Woo! Alright, so let's delete that black one. Actually, before we do that, let's make sure this thing is centered. And go there. Alright, so bring this over. That's not right. Okay, it's 64. So 64 divided by 2 is 32. So this is 30. Let's see if I zoom in. No, it's not helping me. There's a way to do it to get this dang ruler to zoom in so it's not even lining up right. Alright, we'll just eyeball it then. Whoops. Because usually if you click up here, right, and you grab and hold and drag it to this corner, the ruler will change to where the 0 points are here. So this should be 0 and this should be 0, but it's not changing for some reason. So forget it. Forget it. Close that out. We'll delete the background. That looks center enough for me anyways. And we're going to go to File, Save As. We call this Asteroid. LRG for large. Save. And the more of these you make, obviously, the more stuff you'll be able to put into your game, but right now we're going to keep it pretty simple, because this is going to be a fairly large build for our next game, time-wise anyways. So now we got our ship, our large asteroid, our small asteroid, and that's all we're going to need. Those are our elements that we've created ourselves that we're going to put into the game. So let's close this out and go into construct. So, okay, here you can see this entire white sheet here. This entire white sheet is our entire layout. We can build in this entire area, but this dotted line here is our actual window size. So what they'll be seeing when they're playing the game, they're only going to be seeing this small area. And then as they leave the area, they won't see anything outside of it. We can change that by having the camera lock onto the player, so when he leaves and goes down over here somewhere, this window will follow him. But for asteroids, we don't need none of that. We're just going to just use this one window area, and it's set to 640 by 480, so we'll change our layout to that size as well. 640 by 480, not 4D, 480. Done. So now we have our game board, and actually I think I want to do one more thing in Photoshop. I'm sorry guys. I'm going to try to do one more thing in Photoshop, and we're going to create a new, and this needs to be 640 by 480 because we're going to create a starry night background. Zoom out, and we can go to double left click this background layer, because right now it's locked, so I don't think we can do much with it. We can paint on it, but I'm not sure what the full thing that we can do with it. Anyways, just left click it twice and it'll change into a layer, and it allows us to edit it. So we get a filter. We're going to add some noise to this. We're going to go to add noise, and 120% is fine. Actually, I'm sorry, I need to make this black. This is going to be a starry night. Duh. Filter, noise, add noise. Alright, so there we go. And we'll do uniform monochromatic, and we can go to image, adjustments, levels, and we can just crush these levels down. To make a starry night sky. I think I was supposed to use not uniform, maybe Gaussian. Noise, add noise. Let's go with Gaussian. There we go. Image, adjustment, levels. This one doesn't want to do it either. What I'm trying to do is crush it down, but it's not crushing properly. Filter, noise, add noise, monochromatic. We want monochromatic because we want it to be black and white. Set to uniform, 100%. Image, adjustment, levels. There we go. That looks like a starry night sky, kinda. Right there. Done. So what I did was I filled this with black, filter, noise, add noise, amount 100%. I think that was the issue I was at because it was up at 120 or something like that. So I went to 100%, and then it was uniform, and then all you gotta do is image, adjustment, levels, and just crush the levels down from the blacks all the way down like that, and done. So we got our starry night sky. That'll be our background. File, save as, and we'll save this in sprites. Why not? Let's see here. We call it starry sky. Save that out. File, save as again. Do it as a PNG, and done. No interlacing. So now back into construct. Now we can add our background in. Right click, insert new object. Instead of sprite, we're going to do tiled background, and left click. And instead of painting in here now, we're going to go to open, or we're going to go up to this open thing. It's to load an image from file, so we're going to do that. And we're going to go to libraries, documents, asteroids, sprites, and we'll go down to the starry night sky, and there we go. Oh, it's saying it wants it to be a power 2, but it doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter. So here we go. We got our starry night sky, and we can scale this any way we want. And it tiles over and over and over and over again. So we can literally make this as large as we really want it to be. So we can make it, I mean, up to here, and it just keeps tiling the same image over and over and over again. But since we use the noise function, it automatically makes it seamless for us. So there shouldn't be any seams in this where the two images meet. So we're just going to scale this down to about here. And I know the original Asteroids, like Atari or whatever, it was just on a plain black background, but I wanted to do the night sky because I think it looks a little cooler. We're going to change the tiled background name. We're going to right click it and go to BG, because that's what it is. We're going to go to our layers. We're going to change the layer 0 name to BG, because that's what it is. We're going to lock it off and turn it off for now, because I want to be able to see. Obviously, I can put this on, I can't see where the edges of my layout are. So I want to be able to see that. So we're going to insert a new object. We're going to call it sprite, and this will be ship. Or we can call it player or whatever. We're going to go to file, open again, and we're going to select our ship. Done. Whee. Now, inside of this, we want to go down to this right down here. It says set origin, and we want the origin to be basically in the middle. And since we made sure it was lined up inside Photoshop, we're good. But we also want to add a new image point, and this will come in helpful later. So we're going to hit plus. It's going to give us a new image point, and we're going to put it right at the tip of our ship. So right there. And that's it. Close. Where's my ship? Oh, maybe I can't see it because it's too small. Oh, because I put it on that BG layer. See how the layer was turned off? Whoops. Uh-oh, my computer's going crazy. So, we're going to move this to a new layer. We're going to create, first let's create a new layer. Call this player. We can select our ship over here in the objects thing. Right click. Oh, it's locked. Unlock it first. Right click, move to layer. We're going to layer player. Now lock down the BG and turn it off. Alright, so we got our ship. Let's work on moving it around. So we're going to select the ship. We're going to go to behaviors, and we're going to use the 8 direction behavior. Done. And let's hit play. Here we go. We got our ship flying through space. Uh-oh, now it's all my thing's acting all goofy here. It's freezing up on me. Alright, so we got our ship. Not exactly working out perfectly. You see, as I hit up, it flips that way. As I hit down, it flips that way. So it's not exactly flipping the way I want it to, which it may have to do with the orientation inside inside Photoshop. So let's go to File, Open. Whoops, not new. File, Open. Asteroid, we'll go Ship. Go to Control T. Actually, I'm just going to go to Edit, Transform, Rotate 90 degrees clockwise, and have it facing that way. And I think that'll fix the problem. If I remember correctly, it's supposed to be facing that way, which I should have known, but I was not paying attention to what I was doing. So we want it facing this way, over here, and this is, I think, the front of it. So we'll double click our ship. We're going to File, Open, Ship, and we'll update it. And we can zoom in here. And moving in here is just like moving in layout, holding Control and scrolling with the mouse wheel. We'll zoom in and out for you. And we're going to change that image point 1 to the new nose of the ship. Origin point. I think if we hit, was it F or 5 or F5, one of those buttons? It's supposed to reset the origin point to the middle, but I think it already is in the middle, so that's might be why it's not working. Let's see here. F5, 5, F. No. Okay. Well, I already know how to reset it. This image is what, 32 by 32, so put 16 on the Y, 16 on the X, and now we know it's directly in the center. Alright, and it should have to still have the same behaviors on it. So, there we go. Now it's flying around proper. Whee! Flying through space. Alright. Cool. So, let's add in our bullets. So we need to create a bullet that we can shoot. So we're going to go to Insert Object, we'll call it a sprite. Click anywhere on the screen, and we're just going to fill this with white. Done. And now we just need to rescale it so it's super tiny, so it looks like a bullet's coming out of this thing. And we'll do it here. Scroll this all the way in over here. Whoops, I had the wrong, there we go. Zoom in a little bit more, get real close and down and dirty with this thing. Just make it very small. Laser fire coming out of here. Pew, pew, pew. That's what it's going to look like there. Oh crap, I put it too close to the ship. There we go. And we're just going to move this off screen over here somewhere. We're going to rename this bullet. And we're going to add behaviors to it. And we're going to give it the behavior of, you guessed it, a bullet. If I can find it. There we go. And we're going to close that out. And now I need to go to my event sheet. We're going to go to Add Event, System, all the way down to On Start of Layout. Done. We want to destroy that bullet. We don't want it over off on the side anywhere. So let's go to Bullet Destroy. So on the start of the layout, that bullet over here is going to get destroyed. It doesn't even exist anymore. Now what we need to do is that whenever the player hits the spacebar key, it spawns the bullet right here in front of the ship. So we're going to go to Add Event. Let's see here. Actually, before we do that, we have to go back into Layout, right-click, Insert New Object, and we need to insert a keyboard object for input because it doesn't know where it's getting input from right now. So we're going to add a keyboard object, Insert. And this will allow us to access the keyboard when I go to Add Event over here. So we can go to Add Event, Keyboard, next. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of this. When the keyboard, if a key is down, so if it's being held down, then it'll just keep on rapid firing. On any key released, so when the key gets let go, on the specific key is released. On any key is pressed, so if they press any key on the keyboard and they press it down, something will happen. On key is pressed. That's what we want. On a specific key, when a specific key is pressed, we want something to happen. And for this, we want when the spacebar key is pressed, we want it to fire the bullet. So we're going to hit OK. And the key that we want is we could just press any key. So I'm just going to press spacebar. Done. Done. So keyboard on keyboard on space pressed, we want to spawn a bullet out of the ship. So we're going to go to Ship. We're going down to Miscellaneous, spawn another object, next. We're going to choose the bullet because that's what we want to spawn. We want to spawn it on layer 1, that's our player layer. And for our image point, if we go back into layout here, I'm going to put it to image point 1 because I know that's what it's supposed to be, but I'm going to show you why. If we go to layout here, we double click our ship and we go to our origin points here, we can see that image point 1 is numbered 1. And if we click it, we can see that it's right in front of the ship, and that's where we want our bullet to spawn. So that's why we chose over here, we want on the spacebar pressed, the ship will spawn a bullet on layer 1, the player layer, on image point 1, the one that we created. So we'll hit play. Now every time I hit spacebar, it shoots these little lasers out of my ship. Whee! Look at me, firing lasers. Alright, so now we do have a problem. I can leave the area, which is not good. And I can just fly off, and the camera doesn't follow me, so I have no idea where I am. So what we're going to do to fix that is we're going to select the ship. We're going to go to Behaviors. We're going to add a new behavior, and we're going to set it to Wrap under the General tab. And what this will do is every time it leaves the layout, it's going to do like a Pac-Man type thing. Add, done. Every time it leaves the layout, it's going to do a Pac-Man type thing, where if it leaves the layout over here, it's going to show up over here. And if it goes down over here, it's going to show down over here. So it's basically wrapping it around. And I'll show you this how it works. So I'm going right, and then I come out left. And going right, and I come out left. So it's like that little Pac-Man thing when you go through the certain holes or whatever, and it puts you on the other side of the map. Whee! Alright, so now another problem that we're facing right now is we're spawning all of these bullets. And for all intents and purposes, these bullets will be calculated, every single one that you fire will be calculated forever. So you're basically leaving the machine up to doing a lot of calculations because, you know, maybe 10 minutes into the game, they've spawned thousands of bullets, and you have all these bullets in your game that aren't really doing anything, but they're taking up a ton of processing power. So what we want to do is go find our bullet, which is over there. It's super small, so I can't see it, so I'm just going to select it with our objects. And we're going to add a new behavior to it. Hit the plus button. And we're going to pick this under General tab. We're going to destroy when it leaves the layout. So whenever one of these bullets goes outside of this layout screen, it gets destroyed. So we don't have to worry about it calculating anything that's not on screen. It won't be helpful. It'll just add a bunch of crap that we don't need to worry about to our game. So now we got our ship, we got our bullets. Let's add some asteroids in to try and kill us. So we're going to add and insert a new object. We're going to go to sprite. This will be asteroid. We'll start with the small asteroids. Asteroid SM. File open. Choose our asteroid SM. And there we go. It's right there. Whee, look at the little asteroid. It's so cute. So now we want these asteroids spawning in and flying in towards our ship and trying to attack us. So we're going to have to create some spawn points. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Insert New Object, Sprite, and we're going to create a spawn point. Insert, click, and we're going to fill it with, you know, whatever color we want. Doesn't matter. This is not going to be seen anyways. And I'm going to create spawn points all around my layout here, so it can spawn from different areas. And the size of these really doesn't matter. They're not being seen. I just want to resize them so it's a little clearer to look at. I'm going to hold Control, click and drag, put one there, hold Control, click and drag, put one here, hold Control, click and drag, there, hold Control, click and drag here, hold Control, click and drag, hold Control, click and drag, hold Control, and click and drag. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 spawn points where these things can be spawning in and coming at us from all different directions, which is fine, but our asteroid doesn't know what to do. It's going to spawn at one of these points, and it's just going to sit there. So we need to add a behavior to it, and that behavior is going to be a bullet behavior, because it's a projectile. We want it to fly. Done. Add. Alright, so we have our spawn points here. And now we need to spawn our asteroids from these spawn points. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Add Event. Let's see here. System. Pick a random instance of our spawn. Done. So it's just going to pick one of these random spawns to spawn from. And we want to add another condition. So to do that, we're going to right click here on our event, add another condition. We're going to go to our spawn. I'm sorry, we're going to go back. We're going to go to System, and we're going to go to every X seconds down here at the time. And so basically it's saying every X, and X can be anything. It could be any integer that we place right in here. Every X seconds, we're going to spawn it. But we don't want it to be every 1 second it spawns, or every 2 seconds it spawns. We want it to be a little bit more random. So we're going to go to random, parentheses, and we'll put 3 in here. That's fine. So random is going to be every, let's see, 0 to 3 seconds, or 1 to 3 seconds, it's going to spawn one of these asteroids for us. So it's going to pick a random spawn. It's going to, every 3, 2, or 1 second, it's going to spawn one of these asteroids. We're going to go to spawn, spawn another object, choose the asteroid that we want to spawn. We want it to be on layer 1, and hit done. And now we need to tell the asteroid where to go, because right now it's just going to shoot off in some random direction. So we need to tell the asteroid where to go. So we're going to add action, and we're going to go to asteroid. We're going to say set angle towards position, and we're going to set it towards the ship.x and the ship.y. Done. Now if we play here, asteroids are being shot at me. They're coming crazy fast right now. So we're going to slow that down, obviously. And if they hit me, they do nothing. So we need to fix that as well. So what we do is we're going to go to our asteroid, double click it. On the behaviors, we want the bullet on there, and we're going to change the speed down to something a lot slower. We're going to set it to, I don't know, 100. Let's give it 100 a shot. And we need to start setting up our collision for these things. And since these are sprites that we brought in and they weren't made inside here, we're going to have to set up our own collision. So we're going to double left click our ship. We're going to control and zoom and scroll wheel to zoom in. And now we're going to set up our collision. And we do that at the very bottom here. It says set collision polygon. And that's the collision that we have on our ship. And that's not working at all for us. So we want to move these points by left clicking and dragging. And put one there. One up here. One up here. One down here. Here. And we'll put one here. Whoops. One here. So now we have these extra points that we don't need. We can just select them and delete. There we go. So now if anything touches this little box that we made around our sprite, it'll consider it colliding. And we can close that. Set up some collision on our little asteroid here. I've got pretty close to it. Not great. So we're just going to left click and drag our points to match our shape. And this is why I said you don't really want to go over 8 points with this, because if I double click one of these points, it'll add in another point and another point, and as soon as you go over 8, it says the collision polygon has 9 points. Creating too many points can make the game run slowly. It's recommended to have 8 or fewer points. So we want to have as little points as we can possibly have, and try not to go over 8. You can't. I've gone over 8 plenty of times, and I haven't really seen any major performance issues. But you know, try to keep it as low as you can, obviously. So now we have our collision points for our asteroid, and now we need to say what happens when this thing collides with this thing. So add an event. And if the small asteroid on collision with the ship, okay, done, we're going to go to the ship gets destroyed. Done. But we're going to add a new event. If the bullet on collision with another object hits the asteroid, then the asteroid gets destroyed. So, asteroid small, on collision with ship, the ship gets destroyed. So we don't want to get hit by these asteroids. Bullet on collision with the small asteroid, the asteroid gets destroyed. Easy, right? So we hit play. And now we got some asteroids coming in here. And if I shoot them, they get destroyed. And they're all attracted to me. They're all getting shot at me. Whee. And if I get hit by one, I get destroyed. Game over. Alright, so we got that going. Something that we can do for a little bit of fun is if we go to the asteroid, we select it, we set bounce off solids enabled, and then we turn the asteroid into a solid, it should, if they collide with each other, you know, midstream or whatever, they should bounce off of each other. Like that. So that makes it just a little bit more interesting. So they're not like overlapping each other, and they actually feel like, you know, oh, if they hit each other, they go bouncing off or whatever. I'm sorry, don't kill me. Oh, I'm dead. Okay, so there's the basics of our little asteroid game. They're still moving kind of fast. I could probably bring it down to, you know, 50. And as the game goes on, as I shoot more asteroids, once it gets to a certain number, maybe they start speeding up and it gets a little bit more difficult. Whee! And the cool thing about having it set up this way is, like, you can't just sit there and spin around in a circle and kill everything. I mean, I guess you have to be pretty good. I mean, you can't sit still and spin around. You have to actually have some acceleration to move. Oh God, I'm dead. To move whichever way. I don't want to close that out. So let's see here. Now let's add in the larger asteroids. So insert new object, sprite, asteroid, LRG, large, and we're going to go file, open, asteroid large, and we're going to set the collision so it's right. And one here, there, here, 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 here. And we can delete this one and put this one up here. Alright, and we got our image point. We'll set that a little bit more in the middle. That looks good. And done. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we don't want the big asteroids to be coming out as often as the smaller ones. So we're going to add event. We're going to go to system. We want to pick a random, pick instances, pick a random instance of the spawn. Done. And we're going to right click it, add another condition. We also want it to go every X seconds. Now, like I said, we don't want it to happen as often as the small asteroids, so we're going to go to random 10. So now it's going to be picking a number between 1 and 10, which has, and since it's a larger number, we have more of a chance of getting a larger number than we do a smaller number, whereas between 1 and 3, you're always going to get a small number, so they'll be spawning quickly. So hit done on that, and we're going to go to spawn, and we want to spawn another object, and we want to spawn the large asteroid. Okay, and we want to spawn on layer 1. Done. And we want to go to large asteroid, set angle towards position, which will be ship.x, and ship.y. So we're setting the angle of the asteroid's movement towards the ship's X position and Y position, which are its coordinates on the map. We're going to add another event, large asteroid, on collision with another object. We're going to choose ship, done, action, ship, gets destroyed. Where is that? Destroyed, done. So now if this asteroid, the large asteroid hits the ship gets destroyed. And if a bullet collides with the ship, or the asteroid, done, then the asteroid gets destroyed. But now, instead of just having the big asteroid get destroyed, we're going to have it, not only does it get destroyed, but it's going to spawn 2 small asteroids. So we're going to go to add another action, spawn another object, asteroid small, layer 1, done. And we're going to set the angle towards the ship, and let's do it again. Spawn another object, asteroid small, layer 1, done. And we want to set that angle towards the ship as well. And actually for this to work, I think we're going to have to take the solids off this. So take the bounce off, and get rid of that. And if we go to behaviors, we can go to select the solid and hit the trash can button, and then it'll take the solid off. So if we hit play again, waiting. I just realized I did not set the large asteroid to be a bullet. So it's being spawned right now, but it's not a bullet. It doesn't know what to do. So it's just kind of like sitting on the outskirts of this thing being spawned. Excuse me. So we have to tell it what to do. So we have to give it a behavior. Behaviors add, and we're going to make it a bullet. Done. And we'll drop the speed down to 100. So it's going to be a little faster moving, which probably should be the opposite. I think these should probably be going 50. Oh, wow. Asteroids everywhere. I think it's because I set the spawn wrong. Ooh, look at all these asteroids. Okay. Let's go check my event sheet. Yeah. See, I set the spawn, so every time that big asteroid is destroyed, it's spawning 2 from every single one of those spawn points. So yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to go back. We want to spawn from the large asteroid. Spawn another object. Done. And we copy paste this down here. Delete that one. Move it up. And cancel. Now we don't want to destroy the large asteroid before it spawns the 2 small ones. So we're going to spawn the 2 small ones, then destroy the large one. Because if we destroy the large one, then it won't have anywhere to spawn. So let's go again. So we got our little ones coming in. Got a lot of little ones coming in. Oh, and there comes one big one. Oh, there goes 2 big ones. And now it just spawned 2 small ones, but they're directly on top of each other, so we can't really see that. I think I just got hit by an asteroid. Off screen, so I couldn't see. So what might be good to do is, on our layout, we'll go to our large one, and we're going to create 2 image points. One will be here, one will be here, so that way they're away from each other, and we can set it to spawn to each one of these image points instead of right on top of each other. So we're going to spawn one at image point 1, done, and spawn the other at image point 2. So they should have some spacing now, so they're not directly on top of each other, like so. And they're resetting that angle of motion when they get destroyed, so they can go on their own little different paths. So yeah, I think we need to switch this up to where the little asteroids are moving a little bit faster than the larger ones, and the large ones are moving a little bit slower. So let's do that right now. So under the layout, we're going to go to our larger asteroids. We're going to set these down to 50, and the small ones will set to 75. Done. So now the little ones are moving just a little bit faster. We're getting a lot of little ones. Oh, there comes a big one. Still more little ones than big ones, which is what we want. Oh god. And I'm dead. Oh, now we have our little asteroids kind of floating around everywhere. Alright, so we're shooting asteroids, but we're not really doing anything. I guess we could just do this forever and nothing will happen. Except that eventually we'll die, but we don't know how far into the game that we've made it. So we need to make a scoring system. So let's do that. Go to File, Insert, New, Text. We'll just call this Score. Insert. And the text will be, at the top it'll say Score, and caps, and then it'll be a little, then a colon. What is that called? I don't know, the 2 dots. I forget what it's called. We're going to change the color to white. Let's see here. We're going to change the font. We're going to change it. We'll keep it Arial just to be simple. And we're going to make it nice and big, 26 maybe. There we go. Put it at the top left corner over here. And now we need to create a new global variable, so we'll click anywhere down in this gray area, or white area maybe, a global variable, call it score. It starts off at 0, obviously, so if I go and check this, score is equal to 0. So it's score, the type of it is a number, the initial value is 0. We can give it a description, but I think score is fairly obvious of what it is. Now every time we destroy a large ship, we're going to go to add action, a large asteroid. Every time we destroy a large asteroid, we're going to go to add action, system. We're going to add to the value of score 250 points. Done. And every time we destroy a small one, add action, right? Yeah. Add action system. We're going to add points, add 2 under our global variables. We're going to add 100 points. So if you destroy a big one, you get 250, small one, 100. Alright, so to add the score, we're going to go to add event, system, every tick. We're going to go to, let's see, score. We're going to set the text to quotation mark score. And we're going to set it to, we're going to add this score. So we're going to set this text to, yes I know, okay thank you. We're going to set the text, these quotations denote text, so it's going to say score with that little damn thing that I don't remember the name of it is. It's going to also, and we're going to add our global variable score to the end of it as well. So that should be good. Let's hit play. So our score is 0, and I shoot one, and nothing happened. Shoot another one. Oh, there we go. We got points for that one. Oh, I'm getting all kinds of points here. I'm not. Should be every tick, but it's not. It's not updating right. So let's go into our debug mode here and make sure our variable is getting all the points that we're supposed to. See, right now I'm just getting points for no reason. I'm wondering why. Oh, see, even more points. I'm not even alive right now, so I'm not sure why I'm getting points. Let's see here. Oh, because every time it spawns, it's adding points. That's stupid. Okay, let's see. Bullet. This is what I want to add it to. Every time it hits a small one, done. Bullet on collision. Okay, we should be good now. All right, let's check this out. 250, 350. I'm sorry, don't hit me. 450. Look at this guy racking up the points now. I'm sorry, oh god, they're so small and everywhere. Ah, I'm dead. With a score of 2150. Now, me just kind of blipping off the screen is kind of boring. So let's make like an explosion whenever I blow up. Okay, insert new object. We're going to go to particles, insert. And we're just going to make a small little bloop. Done. Small little white spark thing. Instead of this being particles, we're going to get this spark. And I think that's still too big, but oh my gosh. Where's the spark taken? Delete. Rename. Spark. And these particles are going to get deleted as well. Spark. Alright, let's see what we have here. We don't want a continuous spray. We want just a one-shot thing where it just goes, you know, in every direction. So let's see what that looks like right now. Ah, see, there it goes. That's kind of cool. Did it in like a cone fashion. We don't want it doing a cone fashion. We want it doing 360 degrees. Right now it's only shooting at 60 degrees. So we want it to shoot in every single direction. 360. That's looking pretty cool. And maybe, let's see here. We have a whole bunch. I mean, there's a ton of different settings in here. And they're all pretty self-explanatory. So we have the rate, which is the number of particles per second or total for one shot. So if it's a one shot thing like this is, it's just going to do 50 particles shot out at once in one big thing. Right? Speed is how fast they're going to be shooting out. Obviously, the spray cone is the how it's going to be shot out. Like I put 360 degrees, so it's just going to shoot out in one big ball, which is what we want for our explosion. If you want, it could make it like a little cone to where it just shoots in one kind of direction. You could. Speed is how fast they shoot out. The size is the actual size of each of the particles, and they look a little small to me, so maybe we'll bump it up to maybe not double the size, but half the double. 32, 32, that's 64, 16. That'd be 8 and 48. Let's do 48. Opacity, obviously, if they're how transparent they are. Their grow rate, they can grow over time. They can get smaller or larger, depending on if you want. I want them to stay the same size, so it doesn't matter. The randomizer, it basically just randomizes where they are. It offsets each of them from each other if you don't want them all kind of in the same space. Speed randomizer, some particles will shoot out fast, some will shoot out small. Size randomizer, it'll pick, let's see, so if you set the size to 48, and then you can append this like 13 or something like that, and it'll append 13 to 48, and then it'll pick a size between 48 and let's say if it was 12, it'll pick a size between 48 and 60 and randomize the size. Grow rate randomizer, how quickly they grow out over time. Their acceleration, their angle randomizers, just a whole bunch of stuff to randomize the particles. Destroy mode, fade to, we can either fade to, they're invisible after they'll stay, or they can stay the same transparency throughout the thing, and then just after a second or whatever they'll die, and then or whenever they stop moving, so they run out of speed. We're going to keep it as it is. I think this looks pretty good. We're going to hit play. Let's try it. Let's play it one more time. That looks good. I might want to rotate it a little bit. I don't know if actually rotating this will help, if I have to rotate it inside of... Yeah, I think I have to rotate it inside of the image editor. So instead of it being that way, it's going to be facing this way, like so. And let's hit play again, see how that looks. There we go, that looks good to me. So whenever we get blown up, that's what's going to happen. So we can move this off to the side here. And on the event sheet, whenever the ship gets destroyed, add action, ship, spawn another object, choose the object that we want to spawn. We want to spawn the sparks on layer 1. Duh. And we want to spawn them, obviously. Where did I spawn those at? Okay, yeah. We want to spawn these before the ship gets destroyed, because we can't spawn them to the ship after it gets destroyed because it's not there. So we want to spawn them before the ship gets destroyed. The same with this one, if the small asteroid hits me. And again, with the whole, since we have it off to the side over here, when the game starts, it's going to explode off the bat, and we might see it. So we're just going to go to our event sheet and think our first one on starter layout. We're going to add action sparks. We're just going to destroy these. Destroy. So that way, right off the bat, like this little dude's getting destroyed right off the bat, so we don't have to worry about him. Done. And now if I get hit with something, I get destroyed, and I see the little particles go everywhere. The score is 350. Whee! So that's the basics of the game. But now that we've got our scoring, we got our shooting, we got everything set down, let's start. When we die, nothing happens. We can't start over. It's just, that's the end of the game, so we have to exit out and start again. So let's try to get rid of that and actually have a game over screen or something. So there, we're dead. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layout. I'm going to go to, well, first of all, let's just save this off. Save. We're going to go to layouts, right click layouts, add a layout, We're going to also add a new event sheet with it. So when we create new layouts, we can use this old event sheet here, but we don't need it since we're just doing a title screen. And we're going to change the first layout name to, we're going to rename it to game. And the second layout we'll name to start. This will be our start menu. And under the Asteroids folder, we're going to select that. And the first layout that we want it to load is not default. We want it to load start, because this is going to be our start menu here. And we're going to make this 640. We're going to change the layout size to 640 by 480. Done. And select the layout again. Layer. I'm sorry. Select this layer. We're just going to change it to black. Done. And we're going to hit insert new object. Text. Insert this. I'm going to change the text to white so you can see it. We're going to call this Asteroids. And we're going to change the font. Let's see if I can find like a old system-y type font. Actually, I think it's actually called System. Yep, there we go. That font's not supported. No. That's no fun. Oh, maybe Terminal. Maybe we can use that. No, maybe just a regular terminal. Maybe it'll take that. No, come on. Oblique? No, it's not supporting that font. I hate you, Construct, for not supporting all the fonts. Operator? Orator? Looks kind of old. Oldie. Really? Is it just the size that's not supporting? No, it's just not supporting any of it. Deja vu. Ooh, we can use Courier, I think. Yay. I think Courier is supported. Ah. Alright, that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Alright, let's make this just a little bit larger if we can. Courier. 15? Is that the highest it goes, really? Let's bump it up to 36. Let's see if it'll take that. Yes, yes it will. Alright. Asteroids. Now we're going to hit the insert new text button. I'm going to call this, let's say press start to play. And we're going to change this to Courier. And we'll make this 24. Done, and we'll change it to white. We'll put that down there. And we're just going to give it a effect. We're going to go to we're going to select the text, go to effects, hit the plus button, and there should be a flash or something like that in here. Actually, it's not. It's in the behaviors. Now I remember. Press start to play. We're going to go to behaviors, hit the plus button, and go to flash. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, right here. Under general, flash, add. And that'll just make it kind of blink on and off. It's not blinking on and off. Not even close to that. So let's go into our event sheet. For this one, we should have a new event sheet here somewhere. Oh, here we go. So we're going to rename event sheet 1 to game events. And the event sheet 2 we're going to rename to start events. And I'm just going to double click the start events. Add event, system, every X seconds, every point 0.05 seconds, every half a second. We want, was it text 2? Text, yeah, I think it's text 2. We want it to flash. Next. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, tag it. So since I had the game last selected, that's where it brought me to. I want the start to be the thing it brings me to, so we'll start. Hey, look at it flashing. That's a little too flashy for me. So we're going to go back to start events. Maybe bump this up to cancel. Instead of every half a second, every second. Done. still a little too flashy, and that might actually just be this. Duration in seconds, on time, off time. Let's set it to point. Let's do it on for half a second, off for half a second, and it's gonna last It's gonna last 1 second. There we go. And that's like maybe a little too slow. So let's do like a 2.5. Duration 0.5, 0.5. Done. There we go. So press start to play. Or press start. We want to say press space bar, maybe, instead of start, because that's what we're going to use. Let's change this. Instead of press start to play, press space bar to play. Done. This is kind of boring, so let's insert. Let's see, let's bring in our small asteroid. We can just grab and drag it over from our object types over here, and we're going to bring in our ship, like so, and go like that. We're going to add you know what? Actually, no. We're going to go to insert new object, sprite, ship start. Done. File, open up our ship. Good. Put that right there. Insert new object, sprite, asteroid, start. Put that in, open, asteroid small. Done. So we got our ship here and our thing there. We're going to put some behaviors on them. We're going to put bullet behaviors on them. And we're going to put a wrap on them. This one's going to get a bullet behavior on it. This is why I didn't want to use that one. I didn't want to put, because I think if I'm correct, it'll carry over. Like when I put this ship over here, it had all my stuff on there. So I'm thinking if I change it, it might affect the game one too. Which I could be wrong, but play it safe than sorry. And put a bullet behavior, so I'm just going to create a whole new thing. And if I hit start, they chase each other across the screen. Right now they're going crazy way too fast, but we'll slow them down to about 100. And maybe that might even still be going too quickly. There we go. So we have our little asteroid that's chasing our thing. We press the spacebar button, nothing happens. But something will happen, so we're going to go to our start events, add event, keyboard, on key pressed, click to choose the key, we're going to hit spacebar, hit OK, done. We're going to add action, system, let's see here, system, go to layout, we're going to go to layout, game, done. So now when I go to the start thing, it says Asteroids, press space bar to play. Hit space bar and it brings me to the game. Whee! And I can shoot and kill things. If I die, nothing happens just yet, but it will. So now we're going to go back to our game, and under the game events, we're going to do on collision with asteroid on collision with the ship. We're going to add action. We're going to go to system, wait. We'll wait 2 seconds. And then we're going to add action, system, go to layout, start. So it'll bring us right back to the main menu. And we'll add this to the other one as well. And the only other thing I think we need to do is just to reset the score. Because if right now, if I were to play this, now I'm racking up some points. I guess something happened where I got hit, I don't know. I press the space bar to continue. Oh, I must have put it on the wrong one. Bullet, yeah, that's what happened. I put it on the wrong one. When I was doing it with the collision with the bullets, every time I shot a big one, it would do that thing. So we're gonna do it to this one. Asteroid collision with ship. There we go. Play. Let's play. So if I get some points, 100, 200, 300, 4. Got the big boy. Get some more points. Ah, shit. Died. Waits a couple seconds so I can see my score. 1200. Brings me back here. But I'm still at 1200 because I never reset. I never reset that score, so I can just keep on adding and adding and adding and adding, which we don't want to happen. Oh, I'm dead. So what we want to do is reset the score every time we die. So we're going to add action, system, reset global variables, done. And let's wait 3 seconds, because 2 seconds didn't really seem, maybe we'll do 5. 2 seconds, I don't know, we're going to have to play with that. 2 seconds I know it doesn't seem long enough to kind of be like, ah, dang, and look at the score and realize what you got. So we set all of our global, and we're going to do this before we go to start, just in case. Because I think if we go to the start, then this event sheet will be invalid since start's not using this event sheet, so I don't know if that'll actually happen. So let's just make sure we reset the globals to their default properties, which is 0, before we go to the start one. So hit play. Here we are. $100, $200, $300, $400, $5. Oh God, I'm dead. So waiting a little bit. $750, cool. Then we go to Asteroids, and my score's back to 0. And I can wrap around. So if I keep going this way, done. Alright, so we have just successfully created our first Asteroids game. Obviously there's no sound. We can go and add sound a little bit later, which I'm going to go into when we get to the Mega Man game, and I'll go and get into how you export the game also later in the Mega Man game, which will be in the next one of Let's Make a Game. It'll be we'll be doing not Mega Man, but we'll be doing a Mega Man style game where it's a side scroller that you shoot people and enemies with, and enemies shoot at you or whatever. So that's it. I would love to see your Asteroids creations. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial of mine. I know it's long, but I want to do it all in one video. I don't want it to be like part 15 of 28, you know what I mean? It's just too much of a pain, and then you have to go and try to find all the videos in order. Screw it. Just make one long video. If you want to watch it, cool. If not, then skip around. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. So anyways, yeah, I would love to see your Asteroids games that you've made with Construct 2. If you can, hey, make a game and then record yourself using any kind of free screen cap program, Cam Studio, FreeCam, all those kind of things you can use. I think Fraps has one as well. Record yourself playing the game and showing the game off, and then upload it as a response to this video. I'd love to check it out, give critiques, anything else. So yeah, I'd like to see your work. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. My name's Nick Stalker with Demonic Procedures. Just remember, the demon's inside.